Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the car's coloring is like part 7 for talking about acres is talking about is like you get the car's character right here. The characters is like for part 7 sequel is talk about from the other colorings is talking about whenever you say is talking about from the fields from Radiator Springs, and then knowing about driving on a racetrack, and then of course about going to the near the ocean to the beach, and along with crossing the bridges, and of course about it's like racing, campaigning against other racers it is. And then right here is you got right here, so you speed runner along with the other character, the car's character. But then you have right here is the detail that I went ahead and add in right here of you say speed runner is like knowing about the types of jobs that knowing about is like more like they'll do is that knowing about each character, which based in the movie, I guess. With that, I have to say that with most of the Cars characters is knowing about that if every Cars character is what you call as a race car, because of course in the movie that knowing about is like with the race car that there are some of the cars that cars and planes and you say boats or whatever that they are what you call different sources of automobiles, different sources of you say machines it is. And more likely we could think about is that with most machines it's like knowing about the jobs that they do. But of course it's talking about is like with the detail that I went ahead and add right here is for these characters is of course is that one way to get started, a good start, of course, would be is see here is to go ahead and maybe add your favorite. It may not even have to be your favorite shape, but then of course add a shape right there, and with the shape right there, and then of course it's like maybe draw a few circles. See, 2 circles it is. And then maybe add a diamond shape right here for like a nose. But other than that, is that you talking about with these characters right here, is that the characters, and well, like you begin to wonder about what shape that looks like a smile. And I would probably say that really make up, if you wanted to make up your own shape for a smile, you say is that see here, a name that I would pick maybe for a shape for a smile more likely would be is like the peering up. The peering up, I guess, is like, how do you spell it? It's like maybe with the P, it's like for peering up. I'll go ahead and just use peering up. But you see pure, see peering up. So the peering up shape that you got right here is like for the peering up that I guess see here, the peer up would look like that, kind of like a U. But then of course is if you want to add like a tongue along with it, and then of course you'll add a smile at about right there, the peering up. But other than that you got that it's like with the shapes you add, if you want to add a shape, or and then of course you'll add you'll say a subject idea for what you want to use, such as your character, about what you would like it to do. It's like you got the subject, the subject, and then of course say that I guess you say the objective. The objective about really about the type of design for that typical character. But other than that you have right here is with the Cars characters. The Cars characters is like you go right here is that you say is for number 1 is like your number 1, and then of course number 2 and number 3 and number 4 is talking about is like a design, is like knowing about that what location that you would maybe like to pick for the place. It's like for the acres, and of course measured by what you call of nearly 5 about maybe 50,000 so acres of land it is that you have it right here. Is go ahead and add some detail right here It's like it for the farmland. Got, you know, details right here for the farmland, and of course, that, you know, you can maybe look at that as like, you know, maybe add some forest lands. You know, maybe add a little bit of detail right here for the farmland right here. It's like if it's, you know, in what you call in far distance, it is. You add some detail right here for like you know, far distance detail. I don't know about 3D. I guess, like I said, you know, that's kind of maybe a little bit hard. I guess you just need to work a little bit more on your writing utensil, you know, just really to make it look, you know, like, you know, 3D. It is make it look three-dimensional, like it. Like if it's actually popping out of the paper right there. You got right there is a scene right there with it's like with the farmland, and then of course that see here, add some farmland, and then right up here is if you want to add, you know, maybe a road that will connect or something like that. Other than that, you got the farmland right there, and then of course, you're done with by marker, and then of course if you want to use a little bit of crayon, that the thinking that, you know, maybe you could, you know, start out with the outlines first, like I did on these pictures here. Start out with the outlines first, and then go ahead and work your way, you know, towards the center and in the middle, and then you'll add a little bit more detail on that. But of course, a lot of times whenever I do my artwork, that, you know, even though if there's a small, you say, if you wanted to draw, like if I want to draw, you know, maybe the sun, say the sun peeking out, you say of the color right here, you get the sun right there, and then of course add some details right there for the sun. So you got the red sun, so you got the red, and then of course if you want to add a little bit of purple onto that, it's like you add a little bit of purple, and then of course you do a little bit more of the outlines right here. You know, add some purple. It's like they say is like the pure up. I like the, you know, the pure up outline right there for that for the sun. But other than that, the details with the mountains, and then along the building details right there. But it's like start out with like with the orange, and then along with the green. Other than that, I don't really know all the details about the car's characters. It is, but then on the other hand, too, the thing about is that the amount of detail that you could put into a coloring. But anyway, you got the right there is that you have the sun, and then right up here is you got right here is the details right here for the sky. It is, and of course, most of us probably think about it is like if you normally that you would probably see you know, blue skies. It's like you got the clouds right here, but the details about the blue skies. But anyway, you talk about it's like the measurement you know, for the land. It is that they depend on if it's farmland or if it's going to be, you know, land to use for, like you say, interstate highways. It is that you got say in, you know, anywhere you want to drive. Say, you know, think about anywhere in worldwide that you want to drive to. It's like so far as anything that uses up what you call, you know, those acres of land. It is if it's interstates or if it's highways, interstate highways, or if it's back roads or say toll roads, whatever it is. That more likely think about is that the type of artistic detail anybody were to wonder. It's like that you know, think of a city that you think that, you know, may exist one of these days. It's like knowing about anybody who would think about this. Like if they want to build something, build a road or whatever, that more likely the thing about it is like, you know, well, how many lanes would it be in? And then of course about the racetrack, of course. Anybody thinking about it is like, you know, that anything that you would probably want to build one of these days, knowing about that, you know, what does it do, you know, if it's ever built, and then think about it is like, you know, to keep whatever that you have in mind. And a lot of times, it's like people probably think about is with mathematics, is that if you want to pick a color, let's say pick a color, and then use this like you know, a science or a geometry, you know, type field. It is that knowing about the different things that you can do with, you know, a variety of colors, and just think about the different things that you can do, of course, with maybe your hands, your hand motions, or with the adding the numbers and along with subtracting the numbers. It is subtracting the numbers One of those things, of course, could be is that is knowing about what would water do. Of course, what would water do? If it reaches to a certain temperature, certain degrees, you say if it's in a hot sun or anything like that. Got right there, so you got the details of the cloud and all the other acres. But so far as the study is like of water, the study of water is like get your ideas for whatever that you want to use for that certain character, and knowing about it is like whatever that that you can use to build your ideas with. But other than that, so far as calculating about the acres, as so far as is with the land it takes, it's like for so far with Doc, and then along with Mater, and then along with Lightning McQueen, and knowing about it's like race for the Piston Cup. But other than that, it's like cars, tractor tip coloring, part 7 with measure with the acres coloring.